Mass Effect was well known for its characters, but one of the things I felt that was very underrated about the game was its LGBT characters. Yeah, Mass Effect has had quite a few LGBT characters throughout the trilogy, and of course its sequel, Andromeda. Now, I will not be going through Andromeda or any of the spin offs or DLC. This is only going through the main trilogy, but I will definitely say that they continue to create wonderful characters in the other parts of this series. And of course, before I start off, this is not ranking the characters based off their sexuality or gender. This is ranking the characters on how developed they were. I'm only mainly doing this list because I love talking about this community, and also Mass Effect is one of my favorite games. Before we start on the main list, I have two honorable mentions. Well, one being dishonorable and the other one being honorable. My dishonorable mention is Morinth, who made her first appearance in Mass Effect 2. Morinth is an Anak Yakshi who makes her first appearance in Mass Effect 2. She is the daughter of Samara and also a devious killer. Yep, that's right. All Yakshis are born with a bit of extra power and cannot really control it too well. And of course, this power ends up unleashing whenever they get intimate with someone, which eventually leads to that person's death. Her mother, Samara, is of course trying to stop Morinth from taking more lives, and is up to the player to determine whether or not she's successful. Yeah, so that's kind of why she earns her spot as a dishonorable mention, is mainly because she's just such an evil character. Second honorable mention is another character that I really don't have too much of an issue with. It's just, it felt like she wasn't explored too much. Diana Alice is the host of the series Battle Space. She can be encountered in Mass Effect 3 and become a battle asset. The player can also begin a relationship with her. Not much is known about her. I don't really know too much about her either because I never romanced her in any of my playthroughs. But nonetheless, she seems as a pretty interesting character, and thus obviously gives her a spot on the honorable mention list. Starting off with our main list, at our number 5 pick, we also have someone from Mass Effect 3. Samantha Trainer is one of Shepard's crewmates, and who will also give them the N7 missions and obviously update them about what is currently going on the Normandy. She can be romanced only by a female Shepard, and even though I didn't romance her on any of my playthroughs in Mass Effect 3, she was still a very likable character. And I definitely do hope that BioWare does make more characters like her. She was smart and she was extremely funny. Our number 4 pick is someone a bit like Samantha, but who we get to spend more time with. And she had made her first appearance in Mass Effect 2. Kelly Chambers is one of Shepard's crewmates in Mass Effect 2, and will of course also give them intel on what is happening with the crew and other missions that the player can partake in. The player can obviously begin a romance with Kelly regardless of their gender, and if she is still alive at the end of Mass Effect 2, she will of course make a appearance in Mass Effect 3. Although the player can alter her fate in Mass Effect 3 by doing a few various things. those of which I'll probably get into on another video. But nonetheless, Kelly was a very likable character in her appearance in both Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. And she was a very valuable asset to the team, and it was great to see her again in the third game. Our number 3 spot, we're going back to Mass Effect 3 for this one, and that man is probably one of the best NPCs I've seen in a game. Our number 3 spot is Steve Cortez. Steve is a bit of a tragic character. He lost his husband during the Ferris Fields attack in Mass Effect 2, and can be romanced by a male shepherd who can also help him move on his ex-husband's death. Of course, he can also develop a friendship with a female shepherd, but for this video, we're strictly talking about the romance. Steve is a very likable character, and it's not difficult to feel sorry for him. It's horrible when you lose someone that you're very close to, but it's even better when you can find someone who makes you happy. And in Mass Effect 3, it seems like Steve might have found someone that makes him happy when a player begins to romance him, as the two can quickly build up a pretty decent relationship. And of course, even if the player does romance him, they can still build a strong friendship with him. Number 2 spot, we're actually going back all the way back to Mass Effect 1 with Lyra T'Soni. Lyra T'Soni is a Asami we meet on Therum. In Mass Effect 1, the player can begin a romance with her, regardless of gender. The player can also meet her again in Mass Effect 2, and if they previously had a romance with each other, the two will display a bit of affection towards each other. She also makes an appearance in Mass Effect 3, in which the player can continue the romance with her or build up a new one. But even without the romance, Lyra was still a very interesting character, as she spent most of her life just studying old Prothean technology, and has been implied not to really have too much contact with anyone else, which kind of has made her a bit shy, but a very more likable character. We do see her grow a lot as a character in the rest of the trilogy, as she helps a lot with the future missions and does have a bigger supporting role in Mass Effect 3. And our number 1 pick should probably be a little obvious to those who have played the games, but our number 1 pick is of course Kaidan Alenko. Kaidan Alenko is one of your squad mates from Mass Effect 1. In the first game, only a female shepherd can romance him, but in his appearance in Mass Effect 3, both female shepherd and male shepherd can romance him. And of course, Kaidan takes his spot at number 1 on this list for quite a few reasons. Even without romancing him, I find him as a very interesting and likable character. As he always wants to do what's right, he grows a lot as a character throughout the entire trilogy and has emotions just like a real person. When he finds out that Shepard was still alive after the Collector attack, he feels betrayed and has a bit of trust issues when it comes to meeting his former commander in Mass Effect 3. He also can be encountered again during the Citadel attack by Cerberus, where where him and Commander Shepard have a brief standoff with each other, and it's up to the player to settle the standoff, either sparing him or just killing him. And of course, if the player spares him, they can rekindle the romance from Mass Effect 1, build up a new romance if they haven't romanced him in the first game, or build up a deep friendship with him. But that's really all I can say. And of course, I do have a few closing words. I want to say thank you all for viewing the videos. And of course, I wish everyone a happy rest of the Pride Month. And I hope everything is getting better for everyone. I do have another video about the LGBT community coming up, which I'll be talking about heavily in a review. And well, that's pretty all. So thank you all for watching. Goodbye, and I'll see you all next time. This has been Moonlight, and I have brought you my favorite LGBT characters in the Mass Effect series. Well, trilogy. Goodbye.